Meditation is listening. It's listening to not only a divine source, it's listening to what's going on inside of us and trying to understand everything that we're carrying around. Trying to look at our relationships, and when we're listening to ourselves and we're listening to the divine, then we're able to express. And a lot of people don't know what's going on inside of themselves. If we made the arts more important individually, our society would be healthier. There wouldn't be as many people walking around with anger issues, being mean to other people. They're not happy inside. They're not happy inside because they have a whole lifetime of stuff bottled up inside them without being able to be liberated to get it out. When we do the summer youth theater program, and children come in, they're shy, they're reserved, they sit down, they're quiet, they don't know what to do, and we break open their shell, and they are allowed to become another person, which in that form of arts, you can experience all of these different people. You're free to be all of these different people, and in being those people, you get to find out who you are. I have a lot of children in toxic situations, and that's the only voice they have. And if they have that, that can change their whole future. The artistic process is alchemy, where it takes something that's so dark and horrible, and then when you bring it out and you can arrange all of the colors into something beautiful, and you literally turn negative into positive. And that's an incredible skill that most people lack, that they really need to have. I grew up with my mother and my grandmother sewing. So as a child, we would go to the fabric store, and I loved the fabric store. It was my favorite place, and I would touch all of the fabrics, and I'd hide inside the fabrics, and I loved silk. Silk was the best, and I would just roll in the silk. And then I was in the fashion industry, and that evolved to my own retail store, but the whole time I've been sewing. I've sewn my whole life. I've made everything imaginable. For me, sewing is a meditation, and it's probably the only time when my mind is quiet, because there's the hum of the sewing machine, and so I can literally just focus completely on that one task, and that's the only time that that ever happens for me. There's like a matrix download that happens, and I can just see it. When I'm looking at something, it's a connection, a definite creative connection, like the dragon costume. I can see the outcome in my mind from a drawing, and I can see all of those elements, and that's definitely being connected to Source. The way that we present ourselves is how people view us. That's what they think we are. So when a character comes out on stage, if he's supposed to be a hobo, I can't just have a patch there. I have done so much ripping and tearing and tea staining to make somebody look homeless, right? Because I have to take a basically new garment and then destroy it appropriately. Like, are they laying down a lot? Well, then we're going to be ripping and tearing here. I'll make a huge vat of coffee or tea and dye things and then let it lay out in the sun. I'll take paint, because it's even more than sewing, and mix that into colors and make it modeled. And so in costume design, you're thinking about the person. He has to become a hobo. And in working with the children too, you see them completely transform. It may have been lines until they put the person on. And as soon as they put a person on and they see themselves, then everything naturally flows because they become someone. And then the children's reactions to their costumes, that's priceless. I like to watch their face when they look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, oh my God, look at me, I'm amazing. There's this transformation that happens, and it happens every time. It happens every time. They go from being themselves and then they're in character. And they will walk around the whole time in character. There's that saying that the creative adult is the child that survives. When I see a child hit that place inside of them, there's no words. Anytime we as an adult have a chance to help anyone as a human being, if we're given an opportunity, it can be our neighbor, it can be our elderly neighbor, help them. We live in these tight little bubbles and we build our walls so high and then we're not happy. But if we just reach out to other human beings, whether it's a child or animals, if we reach out and we help those around us, then there's all of these things that come to us. Then we do experience love. Love isn't something that we can just hold on to. Love is something that as we put out there into the world, we will get back. And the more of us that do that, then we can change the world.